Okay, are we ready? Wow, I guess everybody's here. I keep thinking we are missing people. All right, are we ready? Good evening, everybody. Adequate notice of this meeting, as required by the Open Public Meetings Act, was provided through the posting, mailing, and filing of the annual notice of regularly scheduled meetings of the Town Council on December 12, 2023. The notice was on that date posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, provided to the Westfield Leader in the Star Ledger, and filed with the clerk of the town of Westfield. Ms. Losh, you may have a roll call.
Mayor Brindle?
Here.
Council members Hapgood, Dardia?
Here.
Domagala?
Here.
Kiefer?
Here.
Saunders? Armento?
Here.
Contract? Mackey? Here.
Please rise for the invocation given by Councilman Dardia and remain standing for the salute to the flag.
As we begin this meeting, let us take a moment to appreciate the privilege and responsibility we have been given to serve our community. Let us seek the highest ideals of honesty, integrity, and compassion in our interactions and decisions. May our differences inspire dialogue rather than division, and may our shared goals unite us in purpose. Let us move forward with open hearts and minds committed to the well-being of all.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Jim, you're gonna wait, I'll do my thing and then you're gonna do your thing, right? Excellent. Okay, so we have a very big agenda tonight and some really great information to share. So I'm going to dive right in. A few items of interest. I do want to remind everybody that we'll be holding our annual 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Please join us at the 9/11 Memorial Site at North Avenue and East Broad. The evening will include prayers of commemoration by members of the local clergy, followed by the presentation of the ceremonial wreath by an honor guard and the playing of taps. And each year the ceremony concludes with the reading of the names of the Westfield residents we lost that day and a period of silent reflection. And it looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day tomorrow, so I hope the public will come out and join us. Just some upcoming events. Very exciting that the DWC has extended Sweet Sounds to every Friday night in September from 6 to 9 on Quimby Street. Now that there's some beautiful weather in September, I hope everybody will be out there these last few chances from some great outdoor music performances downtown. And with October coming up soon, the Adams Fest team has been hard at work preparing for our 7th annual festivities. Huge thanks to our chair, Councilor Mackey, as well as Adrian Pastore for putting together an incredible lineup for under the theme of Bewitched. And you can check out all the details at adamsfest.com. And what just went on sale?
Masquerade Ball tickets went on sale last night. There's a few tickets left.
Get that? Masquerade Ball tickets, a few left. Hurry up, they're going fast. So tonight we have a very busy legislative agenda, and I'd like each committee to highlight a couple items. I'm going to, Chairwoman Hapgood is not with us in the Finance Policy Committee, so I'm going to ask Councilman Dalmagal to fill in and comment on tonight's agenda.
Thank you very much, Mayor. The Finance Policy Committee has 7 resolutions on tonight's agenda, which include authorization to submit 2 grant applications. One is for the Kids Recreation Trust Fund Grant Program, which we plan to utilize to resurface the tennis courts at Memorial Park. The total request is for $60,000 to be matched out of the Recreation Improvement Fund. The second grant application authorization is for the Greening Union County Grant Program, which will fund the tree plantings for the amount of $30,000 for 2025. If fully awarded, $15,000 from the town and $15,000 matched by the county. We also have 3 bond ordinances on second reading, a bond ordinance authorizing the purchase of a new fire engine pumper apparatus and also the refurbishment of one of our older fire engine pumpers, a bond ordinance authorizing the funding of a replacement of the pool filtration systems, and a bond ordinance authorizing replacement of certain components for the HVAC system in Town Hall.
Thank you, Councilman, and Councilman Dardia.
Thank you, Mayor. From the Public Safety Committee, we have an ordinance on first reading to install an all-way stop at the intersection of Boulevard and Grove. After the warrant analysis prepared by our independent traffic safety engineering consultant supported an all-way stop at this location based on traffic and pedestrian volumes, as well as crash history due to the new law that applies to all-way stops in 2024.
I think there's some very happy neighbors about that. So, Councilman Mackey?
Thank you, Mayor. The Code Review and Town Property Committee has 2 resolutions and 7 ordinances on the agenda, several of which I'd like to highlight. We have an ordinance on first reading authorizing the expansion of the area where people can consume off-premises alcohol in the downtown area to now include North Avenue Train Station parking lot and plaza. In April 2022, following changes to state law, the Town Council adopted an ordinance designated certain areas, mostly in downtown Central Business District Zone, as open container areas which allow for the consumption of packaged wine, beer, and cocktails. In connection with that change and the pending opening of Maze, we are proposing to expand the area to include the North Avenue train lot to allow the public to enjoy packaged wine, beer, and cocktails in the plaza. On a related note, we have a resolution amending the North Avenue train station lease with Maze, Cochina, and Cocktails. The First Amendment is to remove the limitation that only allows for on-premises consumption of beer, wine, and other alcoholic beverages, and the Second Amendment is to expand the hours they're allowed to be open. The initial lease limited their hours of operation when it was unclear what their hours would be, and Maze has now requested they be allowed to open as late as any other bar or restaurant holding a liquor license, which is 1 a.m. On second reading, we'll hear the following ordinances. An ordinance authorizing the purchase of 200 South Avenue West, formerly the Mr. Good Lube location, contingent on being awarded the grant that we've applied for, as discussed in detail on first reading. Doing the ordinance now assists us in being ready to act quickly if we receive the grant funding. An ordinance authorizing a temporary access easement agreement and encroachment easement for 241 North Avenue. The property has Verizon cell antennas on its roof, and easements are needed from the town for access through the town's parking lot behind this building. An ordinance to amend our current film ordinance in order to be more in line with the state's Film Ready program that encourages filming in local communities. An ordinance that replaces our current ordinance covering distribution of unsolicited materials in an effort to address the unsolicited advertising of circulars, newspapers, and other printed material which has not been ordered, subscribed to, or requested by the resident and is normally left at the end of the driveway. An ordinance that stems from a new state law adopted in January 2024 to permit licensed craft alcoholic beverage manufacturers, breweries, to coordinate with certain food vendors, including food trucks and restaurants, for the provision of food on the licensed premises. And lastly, an ordinance that amends the definition of the habitable floor area at the recommendation of the town zoning officer. I guess I'm going to continue on as the Public Works Committee. The Public Works Committee has 2 resolutions on the agenda, both related to recycling. The first is a resolution authorizing an award of contract for curbside collection of recyclable material to our only bidder and current provider, Grand Sanitation, for a 5-year period. In a very volatile recycling market, this will provide us budget certainty for 5 years on this piece of the program, while the disposal piece of the program is a year-to-year RFP and is addressed in a separate resolution. The second is a resolution authorizing an award of contract to Bayshore, our current vendor, for the disposal of recyclable material, which is the other part of the curbside program. This follows a public RFP process.
Thank you. So before we get to tonight's agenda, we have a public safety update from the Police, Fire, and Public Works Department, highlighting some of the recent strategic investments we've made to deliver on many of our priorities around community safety. There's lots of really great news we'll be discussing tonight, so please, if you're watching, pay attention. The press, lots of good things to report on. We're really proud of the many strides we've made. So Jim's going to start off with a couple comments before we hear from each of the 3 departments.
Thank you, Mayor. As you said, we have a public safety is the primary driver of this discussion tonight. Also included in this will be some details about some capital projects that are going on right now and have been completed already this year, And at the end of the discussions of the three department heads here, I'll give some information about our Westfield Connect app. And we actually just achieved our 5-year anniversary of having Westfield Connect operational in town. So that ties to some of the items that Mr. Gibson will be talking about in our public works. So since Chief Dulks has an item on the agenda tonight that the council is about to hopefully approve about fire truck and refurbishment, we'll ask him to go first, talk about his department, some of the statistics and things going on this year. So I'll turn it over to Chief Dulks.
Thank you for that introduction, Mr. Gilday. I appreciate that. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I would like to thank you for this opportunity to provide year-to-date statistical information regarding calls for service, fire inspections, and the lead program provided by the Westfield Fire Department. Additionally, I want to provide an update on the current staffing levels and a few important purchases obtained this year to benefit our members to better serve the residents of Westfield. On average, over the past 3 years, the fire department responds to 2,700 to 3,000 calls of service per year. At present time, the department is approaching 2,000 calls with a remaining 4 months in the calendar year. Many of these calls include auto accidents, alarm activations, utility hazards, hazardous materials, EMS, and every smoke and fire-related incident reported in the town of Westfield. On a daily basis, the members of our department conduct fundamental visual and hands-on training throughout their 24-hour shift. Real-life scenarios are recreated using acquired structures and automobiles donated to the town through the Acquired Structure Program. Both classroom learning and physical training are essential for preparing our firefighters to perform their jobs efficiently, correctly, and safely. The Fire Prevention Bureau is a critical component of the Westfield Fire Department's efforts to protect the citizens of Westfield against the loss of life and property as it enforces the state and municipal fire codes. The Bureau currently consists of a fire official, fire inspector, and administrative assistant. Westfield has a total of 1,695 total inspections that must be performed annually, which includes state and local registrations. Public education for all ages is an extremely important role for the Fire Prevention Bureau. All public, private, and county schools located in Westfield, ages kindergarten through 3rd grade, receives a fire safety assembly in the month of October. Senior facilities, along with senior groups, have multiple events throughout the calendar year to discuss public safety. This past June, the Fire Prevention Bureau adopted State Law PL 2021-C182, requiring all municipalities to provide certified visual lead inspections to all single and two-family rental dwellings. The Bureau has been working collectively with the Health Department and the Building Department in the effort to best serve the residents to obtain a proper inspections and requirements needed. To date, a total of 176 combined inspections have been performed since June and certified permits to make sure everybody's in compliance within the town. Presently, the department consists of 40 personnel, which comprises 36 members assigned to the daily tour operations and 4 remaining members assigned to fire prevention and administration. Each tour has 9 members assigned, which contains a battalion chief, 2 captains, and 6 firefighters. In January of 2023, the department was staffed with 36 members. In July of 2023, the department added 2 additional firefighters, bringing the total to 38 members, providing 2 tours with 9 personnel. This past July, 2 additional members were added, bringing the total back to 40 members. This remarkable increase in daily staffing has allowed all 4 tours back to 9 members and the department back to full staffing levels. This achievement allows 3 fire apparatuses to be staffed at times, which will help reduce emergency response time, save wear and tear on larger apparatus, and help firefighters operate safely and efficiently as possible, and most importantly, improve the level of service provided to the Westfield community. I would like to thank the mayor and all of the council members for being in full support of this increase in staffing. Your team truly demonstrates your commitment to this department and all the public entities in this town. Finally tonight, I would like to highlight a few major equipment purchases for this year that will not only benefit the current department, but for many years to come. In March of this year, the department was in receipt of 95 premium all-synthetic lengths of fire hose. This hose will be used to replace all the current attack lines on each apparatus. This hose was ordered to replace existing hose that was near the end of life of NFPA requirement shelf life of 15 years. Over the past 12 months, the department has outfitted 15 members with new personal protective firefighting gear. This PPE is a custom fit to each member, allowing the safety and protection needed to perform their duties. During the past 6 months, an apparatus committee was formed to design a new fire engine. Many hours were spent with multiple vendors proposing and planning a new fire engine build. This evening, a second reading of the bond ordinance will take place to authorize the purchase of a new apparatus along with the refurbishment of one of our older fire engines. The new expected fire engine arrival is in 2027 and will serve the town for future decades. Once again, Mayor and Council, I thank you for this time to speak publicly on behalf of the Westfield Fire Department, and I thank you for all your continuous support. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll just say thank you, Chief. And I walked by a block party on Sunday, and there was a fire truck there, and I have to commend all your folks. They were out there in a huge game of stickball with the kids, and and it means a lot, and it sends a great message to the community, so thank you.
And I couldn't be more proud of all the members of the department. The engagement they do with the community, you know, interact with everything, it means a lot. You know, we're not just here to serve on the public first responder, we're here as role models and to play, pick up a ball in a game, to play with the youth of Westfield. It goes a long way.
It was
really
great
does.
to see, so
So,
thank you.
thank you.
That's your leadership, by the way. Thank you.
Do you want to plug the 150th anniversary?
So yeah, we could plug that. So next year in June of 2025, on the date of the 21st, we'll be celebrating our 150th anniversary of existence of the Westfield Fire Department. That will be held at the Westfield Armory, but leading that off, we'll be starting with a parade that's going to start downtown Westfield, and it's going to go throughout Westfield, back ending at the Westfield Armory, and we're going to have a celebration. There'll be a lot more advertisement coming with that. Follow us on our social media page. You'll see updates on there. But everybody, we're asking for everybody participation, everybody for community involvement and everything. But thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just two things. Thank you, Chief. Great job as always. And I just, two things. One thing I want to tack on to what he said. We talked about this last time, but the apparatus committee that he formed, when we do this for a new purchase of a vehicle, in this case an apparatus truck for the department, in this case pumper, it can't be lost that this apparatus committee, after due diligence with the chief's help as well, that the costs we're seeing tonight in the bond ordinance are significantly reduced from what they initially were proposed to us, both on the fire truck and the refurbishment. So not only do we have to design and go through the process to get a fire truck, but because of their due diligence, we're actually authorizing something like that is hundreds of thousands of dollars less than it would have been without their work. And there's one last thing about the staffing. I was over at the firehouse last week. Chief invited me over. There's a retirement of a longstanding member, and we just had a luncheon for him. He's leaving after, I think, what was it, 26 years? 26 years. It's a tradition that they do when someone leaves. Police and fire departments, public works do that. One of the nice things I noticed, and I told the chief, I said, we're really at a point in this department right now where at the luncheon, I was there, the two were on duty, it was mostly new people. And that's been unusual in this department for many, many years, but it was really nice to see the older, seasoned people, institutional knowledge, passing on knowledge, but the young people there excited to be there. So it's a very exciting time in the fire department, and the chief's really doing a great job. So thank you again, Chief Dulks. So next is Chief Badaloro. Again, like the fire department, lots of stuff going on. I'd like to have the chief go through and give some statistics and some information about what's going on in his department, not only with staffing, but also a lot of stats that he has about things that they're doing, and they're very, very active. So I'll introduce Chief Badaloro. Right behind.
Good evening, Mayor Brindle and Town Council members, and thank you for this opportunity to address you and to provide the public with information regarding the state of public safety in Westfield. Here at the Westfield Police Department, we constantly collect and analyze data. We do so in order to determine how to best deploy our limited resources. The boundless nature of our duties and responsibilities requires such. We are always seeking to determine what are our most pressing public safety needs, and then how to best deploy our limited resources to address them efficiently and effectively, all in a manner that best serves the greatest number of people. The Westfield Police Department is currently staffed by 63 full-time, regular, sworn law enforcement officers, the highest number in our 121-year history. It is additionally staffed by 22 civilian employees who perform specialized functions in support of our fundamental mission, which is to protect life and property, enforce the law in a fair and impartial manner, and preserve the peace, order, and safety of the community we serve. On January 1st, 5 officers were promoted to the rank of sergeant, and on August 4th, 4 sergeants were promoted to the rank of lieutenant. Additionally, 5 new officers have been hired in 2024, 2 have already joined our ranks, and 3 are presently assigned to the basic police officer training and will do so in December when they graduate the police academy. On March 14th of this year, the Westfield Police Department appeared before the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, at which time we were awarded reaccreditation. We were awarded an initial accreditation in 2021. The Westfield Police Department responded to a total of 58,035 calls for service in 2023. As of 1800 hours on this date and time, we have responded to a total of 36,475 calls for service thus far this year. Many of our calls for service are self-initiated traffic enforcement activities. We continually stress to our officers, and studies have clearly shown, that aggressive traffic enforcement can and does result in a decrease in crime. Thus far in 2024, the Westfield Police Department has conducted 1,332 traffic enforcement details, executed 2,984 traffic stops, and issued 7,286 citations for traffic and parking enforcement violations. This includes 35 citations and accompanying custodial arrests for driving under the influence of drugs and/or alcohol. We have identified vehicle thefts and attempted vehicle thefts, along with those crimes resulting from them, as Westfield's most pressing public safety concern. Between 2017 and 2023, there were 166 vehicles reported stolen in Westfield, an average of 24 per year, with record highs of 28 in 2017 and 2021. Of the 24 vehicles reported stolen in Westfield in 2023, 8 of them, or 1/3, were determined to have been left unlocked with their key fobs in them or left running unattended at the time of their thefts. Along with aggressive traffic enforcement, in order to help combat this persistent vehicle theft problem, the town of Westfield implemented 15 flock safety license plate recognition cameras, or LPRs, at various entrance points to Westfield in the latter part of 2021. It authorized the implementation of another 10 LPR cameras at the end of 2023 for a total of 25. At this time, 11 of them have been implemented and 4 are still pending implementation, this due to delays caused by the permitting process. It has been well demonstrated that suspects often travel in stolen vehicles, seeking to steal additional vehicles, and these LPR cameras provide real-time alerts if a reported stolen vehicle passes by one of them. They also provide real-time alerts for vehicles displaying reported stolen license plates, those vehicles associated with known wanted persons, and more. While these LPR cameras provide us with real-time information, it is what we do with that information that is making the difference. Our patrol officers are doing an absolute incredible job reacting and responding to it. In 2023, we engaged in 27 vehicle pursuits, an approximate 100% increase from 2022, when we engaged in 13 vehicle pursuits, and an 800% increase from 2021, when we engaged in just 3 vehicle pursuits. Of those 27 vehicle pursuits, 21 were the direct result of and response to LPR real-time alerts. 20 of the vehicles pursued were identified by real-time alerts as stolen, and one of the vehicles pursued was identified by a real-time alert as displaying a stolen license plate. 4 other vehicle pursuits were initiated because of officers' direct observations of suspected criminal activity, specifically attempted vehicle burglaries and/or attempted vehicle thefts. These pursuits have been a matter of necessity, and they firmly demonstrate that our officers are fully engaged and repeatedly forcing the criminal element out. There is no doubt that vehicle pursuits can be extremely dangerous, and the safety of our officers and the general public is always our paramount concern. We continue to place an overarching emphasis on subsequent investigations rather than initial vehicle pursuits to identify and apprehend fleeing suspects, recognizing the inherent dangers presented by vehicular pursuits far outweigh the need for immediate apprehension. From March 2020 through August of this year, the Westfield Police Department assigned a detective full-time to the New Jersey State Police Motor Vehicle Crimes North Unit Auto Theft Task Force. We have assigned additional officers to the task force for various lengths of time to support that unit's overall operations in general, but to focus on Westfield's vehicle theft problem in particular. Westfield has been the only Union County municipal law enforcement agency to have assigned any personnel to the Auto Theft Task Force. The Westfield Police Department has developed a very comprehensive and coordinated response to vehicle theft, and I am pleased to report that our concerted efforts are beginning to have a very conspicuous impact. To date, in 2024, just 3 vehicles have been reported stolen, one on March 17th, one on July 15th, and one just recently on September 1st, an average of just 1 per quarter. We have not seen single-digit vehicle theft numbers this low since 2016, when there were just 5 vehicles reported stolen. That was at or about the time when vehicles with keyless entry and ignition systems became increasingly standard in most vehicles sold in the United States. Today, nearly all new vehicles have such features. While this statistical data is highly commendable, I caution all that complacency can change that very easily. The most recent vehicle stolen on September 1st, a 2024 all-electric BMW i4 valued at $80,000, was left unlocked with its key fob in it at the time of its theft. Westfield continues to be targeted for vehicle theft, and it will likely always be, but we have successfully made this town a more difficult and less attractive target. We have conducted aggressive traffic enforcement activities all summer. That effort has involved all patrol officers, and it has been occurring on all days of the week and at all hours of the day. The focus has not just been on traffic violations, but also parking violations. Of note, every weekday, a task force of parking enforcement and police officers, sometimes as many as 5 persons with enforcement authority, are assigned to the Central Business District during the busiest hours of the day, the lunchtime hours of 11:30 to 1:30, just to focus on parking enforcement. Particular emphasis has been placed on those violations that impede traffic and cause pedestrian safety concerns. We are patrolling the Central Business District both on foot and in marked parking enforcement and police vehicles with their cruise lights activated to alert the public to our presence. These activities shall continue, and now that schools are open, they shall be extended to school zones as well. With our staffing levels at their highest in history, our officers can be more proactive with enforcement than they've been in the past, and we are conducting far more focused traffic enforcement. We are even employing new technology in speed enforcement, lasers, also known as LiDAR, which gives us exceptional target precision and incredibly accurate speed measurements. Our increased enforcement actions are not about building numbers or generating revenue. And consistent with the law, we impose no enforcement quotas whatsoever upon our officers. They are strictly about reducing crime and making Westfield safer. In further response to your continued feedback, the Westfield Police Department once again deployed a task force of officers during the summer months to address quality of life issues at night, both in the downtown business district and Mindawaskin Park. Since May 24th, up to 3 additional plainclothes police officers, detectives, and/or supervisors were deployed on select weekend nights. They joined the uniformed patrol officer already assigned to a walking patrol each night. These officers were directed to specifically address quality of life issues, which include unlawful and disorderly juvenile behavior, this with the intent of making our downtown area a safe and enjoyable place for all persons. Their area of responsibility includes not just Mindawaskin Park, but also those immediately adjacent areas to include North Euclid Avenue and the grounds and parking lots of the Presbyterian Church. Strict enforcement of all park rules and regulations was directed, most importantly, those relating to operating hours. We have decided to continue to deploy the quality of life detail through the month of September. As I stated during a recent ceremonial swearing in of our 5 newest officers, the Westfield Police Department is approximately one of 560 law enforcement agencies in the state of New Jersey, yet it stands head and shoulders above most. It has been an accredited law enforcement agency since 2021 and an accredited public safety answering and dispatch point since 2022, making it only the 5th law enforcement agency in New Jersey and the first and only in Union County to have earned both such distinctions. These are some very significant accomplishments, and they did not happen overnight. They have taken years for us to achieve. These accreditations represent my unwavering commitment to you as your Chief of Police. It is one of honor, integrity, and pride, and one that ensures a professional police department is protecting your town. Please know your investments in this department, combined with the ongoing extraordinary efforts of our police officers and civilian support staff, are making a difference. Westfield is far safer and more secure than it has ever been. The statistical data that we continue to collect and analyze affirms that. And no, none of what we accomplish would be possible without the tremendous support of this mayor and town council. I am extremely appreciative of and grateful for your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief, I do want to just say, I mean, I know you didn't want to talk about it because he didn't want to say it because he didn't want to jinx it. But I was at an event, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and people were just asking me about things, and it was this aha, and I said, you don't hear anybody talking about auto theft anymore. And it was like, you're right. And it's really quite remarkable, and I know it's been a long investment, and finally, as you said, the results are paying off, but I'm really happy you were able to tell that story tonight because it is quite a remarkable one, and I think one that could be emulated in other departments around the state, so congratulations.
Make no mistake, we continue to be targeted, but the officers, their response to these real-time alerts and their aggressive patrol tactics, like I said, we've made this a more difficult, less desirable target, and that is showing. That is showing because the car theft problem statewide, while it's down about 12%, the numbers have been pretty consistent in Union County, and a lot of Union County towns continue to be targeted, and they probably always will be targeted because of the inventory here, but making Westfield less desirable, less attractive for criminals, and that's why the pursuits have been an absolute necessity. An 800% increase over the last 2 years, but they send a message. So,
This is great. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And just another comment about staffing again. And you mentioned it, Chief, one of the nicest things we get to do in my role and the mayor's role is these swearing-ins. Sometimes we do them at council meetings, sometimes we don't have time to do that, and we have to do them here during the day. Fire department, police department, public works department, other promotions and so forth. And we were just here only a few weeks ago swearing in the officers. Chief does a phenomenal job giving information about each officer before they're sworn in. Their families are here. And again, like the fire department, we're in transition in the police department. We're seeing a lot younger department coming through. People are excited to be here and working under the leadership of Chief Batalora and the seasoned people, like Officer Donovan on the left as well. But we have a very well-rounded department, and again, the numbers speak for themselves. They're really remarkable. Lastly, I want to bring up Craig Gibson, I'll still say new Director of Public Works, but not really new anymore, but to talk about some of the accomplishments and things that are going on in Public Works. And I just want to say, I know it's unusual sometimes people might think to associate Public Works with police and fire. Westfield is not. The three departments act together as a team. We actually have a shared OEM department where we have Chief Batalora as our OEM director, Chief Tulks is one of the deputy directors, and Eugene Watkins, our road supervisor, is one of the deputy directors for OEM. That's unusual in a lot of towns, but we value all three departments equally, and they all have different functions to serve. And without Public Works, sometimes police and fire can't do their jobs and vice versa. So it's a very important, triangle there that is served. So I'll invite Craig up to talk about some of the items that he's doing, and then we'll have a few comments by me. Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor Brindle. Good evening, Town Council members. Thank you for that. I first briefly just want to recognize Town Administrator Jim Gilday, Police Chief Batalora, and Fire Chief Dulks. These gentlemen are true professionals, as you can tell. Obviously, there's some large shoes to fill following these two, but they are extremely valuable to me getting acclimated in my new role. Their professionalism, their leadership is very important to me to grow and learn in my new position. So I appreciate working alongside them very, very much. So some exciting Public Works news. I'm very happy to be here to have the opportunity to share with you a brief summary of some accomplishments of 2024. As you all know, I was very fortunate to be appointed as the new Director of Public Works late 2023. But we did not, stop at all. We went right into the new year pretty strong and made some significant staffing improvements and some reorganizations. We successfully promoted an assistant director, which was an internal promotion, which we were very fortunate to be able to do and retain that knowledge within the department. A longtime staff member was elevated into that position, and together we are, I think, experiencing some significant growth within the department. We have successfully promoted two, again, internal promotions, new supervisors to backfill the vacated positions from myself and the Assistant Director, Rich Eubanks. Again, the opportunity for us to be able to retain that knowledge and that experience within the department is very important for the growth and stability, I believe, of what we're trying to develop there. We have to date hired in 2024 new 5 entry-level laborer positions, with 3 more slated to fill before the end of the year. So those are not small numbers. And we have introduced a new opportunity within our division, a new opportunity made possible by some collective bargaining and the town council. We have created a title of working for persons. What this allows us to do within the department is promote current employees to a more on-the-ground, day-to-day responsible manner. So I think what this does overall is create an opportunity for us as a department to maximize its efficiency, provide the appropriate levels of service that Westfield's residents, business owners, and visitors deserve. So very important things from an organizational standpoint. These are not small tasks. We are, like I said, very fortunate to be able to retain a lot of our institutional knowledge, and I think that's going to prove very, very valuable in the years to come to our department. On to some more exciting news. I think we are going to introduce a town-wide street sign replacement program, which I think is a very exciting thing. I think it also ties directly to the public safety component as well. Public Works staff are beginning the process of a town-wide street sign replacement project with newly purchased equipment, again, made possible by this town council, a plotter and a pinch roller. We can now make in-house and install 1,350 new street signs to replace the existing street signs throughout Westfield. Over the years, many signs have become worn, faded, and otherwise damaged due to age and weather deterioration, storms, and motor vehicle accidents. This project will significantly increase visibility to drivers, first responders, provide a safer experience, as well as create an aesthetically appealing, uniform, consistent theme throughout town. We will certainly continue to recognize those streets within our historic districts, as well as our Gold Star streets, with the appropriate colors and or markings. That's a large project. We are very, very fortunate to be able to attempt this in-house with the talent that we have on staff. A lot of these reorganization pieces made this possible as well, so that's a very exciting announcement for me to be able to make. Additionally, we have made, and the council has made, some significant investments in technology within the department, namely two important pieces of equipment, a sewer camera trailer, and we now have two smart cover sanitary sewer detection systems. Our sewer camera trailer, which I think some of you are familiar with already, technology available to us with this newly purchased equipment, we can now visually inspect approximately 1,069 storm drain manholes, as well as 2,742 curbside storm drain inlets throughout Westfield. During the process of using this equipment, Public Works crews were able to discover a severely misaligned section of joint and pipe below ground on Bell Drive, resulting in a very problematic area, even in very minor rainstorms, significant increase in flooding, which can obviously cause very not safe conditions. We were able to identify the problem, properly plan with subcontractors and in-house personnel, and execute the appropriate repairs. This issue has been resolved, and the residents of Bell Drive are very, very grateful and expressed that to us. To date, roughly 25% of Westfield storm drain infrastructure has been video camera inspected since obtaining this new equipment, and we continue to complete, the town-wide assessment and inspect and identify and plan accordingly for any major or minor repairs that we deem necessary. I do not believe anyone from Bell Drive. Additionally, we have invested in some new technology. I don't know, it's new to Westfield. Very exciting stuff. These are smart cover sanitary sewer detection systems. What these do is detect high water levels and send in real-time alerts directly to Public Works management via mobile cellular device. This allows for a response time to high level conditions in our sanitary drains. This allows staff to report, identify and remedy a situation long before the sanitary system backs up into a private lateral, into a home or a business. Obviously, this can lead to unsafe conditions, as well as business disruptions within our CBD. To date, we have installed 2 units within our CBD. It was our test location. This investment has already proven to be extremely effective in identifying sewer backups long before any structure was compromised, which obviously decreases the threat to public health drastically. So those are significant improvements, I think, from technology improvements that we are using every day, 24 hours a day, and they have proven to be very, very effective already. And then I just want to touch on our forestry division is always a very big issue to us, a very important issue. Our tree planting update for the year in 2024, Public Works crews have successfully planted over 400 new trees throughout town in our municipal right-of-way. Over the past 5 years, Public Works crews have planted nearly 3,500 new trees, which will obviously total over 4,000 trees planted over the last 6 years. Additionally, Public Works crews have completed roughly 175 stump grindings in 2024. This may not seem extremely exciting right now, but the plan going into this year was to identify and remove any and all stumps we can locate that were left behind from previous tree removals. Moving forward, the goal, whenever possible, the plan will be to address the entire project in one visit, meaning tree removal when necessary, along with stump grinding. This will alleviate and eliminate the nuisance stumps that may be left behind for many months at a time throughout town. As far as tree planting requests go, I know we get a great volume of requests every year. They come into us in many forms. They come in through email, word of mouth on the street. I think moving forward, we are on a wait list already for 2025 for any new tree planting requests. And we are encouraging everyone to utilize our Westfield Connect app. Some folks know it as C-Click Fix. It is Westfield Connect, and that will be the best place to submit any new tree request. That'll give us an opportunity to really collect the data, prepare a budget according to that data, and then plan our fall and spring seasonal plantings. So with that, I want to thank you again for the opportunity to make some of these, I think, very exciting announcements and show some very positive growth and within the department, and it's something that I am learning day to day. I'm very proud of, and I am extremely grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you, Craig. Very great job.
Again, just another, thank you, Craig. Another staffing issue again. So during these promotional opportunities that Mr. Gibson discussed in the department, particularly the working four-person title, which is a brand new title, what we did in order to look internally first, myself, Mr. Gibson, and Assistant Administrator Heather, we met with every employee in the department over the course of a 2-month period. Had a discussion with every single employee. That was very valuable, not only just to do, but for Heather and I to learn what they were, what their ideas were, what their thoughts were. And again, it's exciting time to be in Public Works right now. We have a lot of new staff, a lot of excited people who are joining the staff, and a lot of people who have been there for a while where there's new excitement because of new titles, new opportunities that exist now that haven't existed before. So again, Craig and Rich as a team at the top are really doing a phenomenal job. A couple other things just to touch on what Craig mentioned, the new sign program, the new street sign program. We've been very excited about this since the capital budget process. We now have got the equipment that we said we would get in-house. We're ordering some of the materials. So a reminder for the council and the public, we are going to be rebranding all the street signs into a Westfield blue, navy blue, and white reflective signs. We've now gone through that process and done some mock-ups, and we've tested it. Also, as Craig said, Gold Star signs will be replaced, but in a nice, newer looking fashion. And again, around the town, there's just been any inconsistency over the years across the town. Black and white signs, green and white signs, blue. It's not been, very good. So these are larger signs, larger print, more reflective, and branded exactly the same around the entire town. And so we're going to start that process hopefully end of the month, early in October. And reminder, what we're going to be doing is Public Works, when they go out to replace the signs in a weekly format, they'll be taking pictures of all the signs that are coming down. We'll be collecting them, and then in batches, we'll look to auction them off. People want to have the Elm Street sign in their basement, or the Broadway Avenue sign in their she shed, or the garage, or whatever it might be. Auction them off, and those proceeds will go back to the town, either to an organization we choose to give money to, or to offset the cost of the program. But we're excited about that because I think that'll be a popular item, not only the new signs, but the auctioning of them for that possibility. And Craig mentioned this briefly, if a gentleman was here from Bell Drive, we had a resident who was really very excited about our pipe fix on Bell Drive, and was so kind that what we did out there worked so well. He actually was eager to provide lunch for the Public Works staff one day. And that was just a simple thing where our new technology was able to identify something underground. We added it to our road program and fixed it, and it's actually working. And we can prove that with data we collect, and this resident actually subscribed to his own water drainage data and sends it to us after large storms, and then we can compare notes. And it sounds very silly, but it's actually very helpful to us. Mr. Matsakousis was not able to be here tonight, but he was excited for me to share that, and he's very excited as a resident of Bell Drive. So again, I just want to say, again, as you see tonight, we're very fortunate to have these three department heads and these three largest departments of the town. And again, I was honored today to be the guest speaker at the Rotary Club luncheon. I was asked to speak about what a town administrator does and just overall information. And one of the things I said, and I'll say it here again tonight, you know, we are fortunate in this town. Any town, you know, is run by the people who are employed by the town. The department heads and the employees who work beneath them. And, you know, Westfield is very fortunate for years and decades to have those good people here tonight. These three department heads. We have two Westfield alumni, like myself, the two chiefs. We have Craig Gibson, who grew up in a neighboring town. They're dedicated to Westfield. They love Westfield. And you see it in their work every day. And that culture gets disseminated down the staff, down the line. And we really work well together. So Westfield is very, very fortunate to have them on staff, as well as all the other department heads. A couple of quick updates here, just to touch on Mr. Gibson, what he said briefly, Westfield Connect. As I said before, we actually just came to our 5-year anniversary of the Westfield Connect app. It's actually called See, Click, Fix, the program, but we call it Westfield Connect. It's branded as such when you download the app, the Westfield W on the app. We're going to try to do a big push after this, and Councilman Darty, as a public safety chair, was going to put some information to the public after this too, to kind of begin to, for those new residents that moved in the past 5 years that may not know about this, to kind of push that out there and make them use this as best we can. Some quick stats for you. We had multiple categories initially included in our first launch of the program. Since then, we've fine-tuned it, and recently, because we know that many of our categories we put in there we thought would be exciting categories, no one really responded to, but we have categories that are very popular. Over the course of 5 years, we've had just about 1,000 requests per year, almost 5,000 requests over the 5-year period. And during that time, 82% of those requests are for trees and roads. As you might expect, trees are planting, assessment, pruning, takedowns, planting, and stump grinding as well. And then in addition to that, roads, we have, of course, as you potholes or, different seasons potholes, but also a lot of, crack sealing, patches here and there, or assessing the road. So Gene Watkins and his crew do a phenomenal job. We have more equipment than we've ever had to go out and do things. So that's something that's important. Also, we're able to track response times by our Public Works Department. So on the 5,000 requests, our average response time to not only acknowledge the request, but have a supervisor get back to somebody with information is in 24 to 48 hours for every single request. And in addition to that, then we also can track when the item is completed and how long it might take. So the average completion of an item is 7 days, or basically 1 week of time. And some items are longer than that and less than that. So a couple examples. We get a lot of requests for road issues, but it's sometimes not our road. So the response back, that's a county road, that's a state highway. We actually we're not responsible for that. We'll pass it on to the state or county representative, and then that item is closed, because from a town perspective, it's closed. And that item then could take a lot longer because we're not in control of it. Another item, one that came in today, for example, we had a See, Click, Fix come in today, or a Westfield Connect come in today, wanting to know if there's a handicap ramp going to be put at an intersection of Clover and Francis when we do the paving job. So we contacted the engineer, who confirmed that it would be. We then get back to the resident, let them know, yes, the item will be done. It's included in our paving job. That item is now closed because we responded, but it's not completed because it's part of a job that will be done months from now. So the only complaint we've ever really gotten in See, Click, Fix, Westfield Connect the past number of years is some people have said, well, the item is closed, but it's not finished. It wasn't completed. And what that means is that if the item is closed, that means we've captured it, we've assessed it, we've deemed that it's our responsibility, if it is, and then we've scheduled it. So tree work is a good example of that. We can't plant a tree at everyone's property every request every single day. So the tree request is taken in for the pruning, the takedown, the planting. Rob, at that point, from the tree supervisor, would take it, get back to the resident. It's been scheduled. We're going to do a better job of how we communicate that to people, the responses. But once it's closed out, that means it's scheduled to be done. And then basically after that, it'll be done in on average of 7 days, which is pretty good. Only one that takes longer is traffic signals. Traffic signals, we get complaints from time to time, or submissions for, look at the timing here, the button's not working, whatever it may be. We're not always in control of that because we have to outsource that to a third-party company. So that response time can sometimes take up to 14 days. But even then, that's not actually very long, and we're capturing that data and taking that. So again, See, Click, Fix has been a very good tool for us, and we want to try to continue to push that to get more requests coming through there. But we will always get requests via email, via in person, via phone calls, and also via the people who are in the field. Public Works is in the field every day doing work, whether it be at a park, in front of your house, taking care of a tree. People come out of their homes and they come to speak to us. Most of the time speak to them, not always, sometimes they yell at us too. But basically, they come out to speak to our employees, and our employees are ambassadors of the town when they're out there. And so requests come from various locations. But again, for 5 years, it's been a success, and I know Public Works, there was a lot of trepidation, if you remember, 5 years ago, and we put it in place. But in addition to Public Works, police has gotten involved in those requests too, as well as engineering, and we will continue to evolve that. So over the next number of weeks and months, we'll be getting information out about remarketing that app for people to sign up for it, and get that moving along. And lastly, just some quick updates, as I normally would give in my capital update. A couple of exciting opportunities or news here. So the road paving program, the town's road paving program, the various roads program we awarded is completely finished. Over the summer months, all the roads that we put in our various road program, except for the 3 state aid jobs, which we'll get to in a minute, have completely been finished. And our contractor really did a phenomenal job. I want to thank Mike Bignell, this is his first year going through the road paving program. He really did a great job monitoring that with Chris Roth and Gavin Gray in the engineering office. And that was, a lot of everyday trips out in the field, monitoring the contractor. But contractor was very, very good. A couple things to note. We did 38 roads or sections of road. And the county also did one of their 2 projects, which is East Broad Street between Euclid and North, which is a big deal. We also did the Bell Drive pipe repair, Cedar and Central Avenue, adding drainage inlets. Doreen and Rawway, we're still working on the last piece to add a piece, another drainage inlet on Doreen and Rawway, proven a little more difficult because of the size of the pipe there. Bennett Place and Coolidge, and every year we do paving, we're going to do these one-off drainage projects where we know there's issues, and we did those this year. We also have miscellaneous projects, the Coolidge and Harding pathway to Washington School. Huge improvement there, took down some old rowdy fence, repaved the pathway, put bollards up so that people don't mistake it for a driveway. Huge improvement there. Also a pathway between Cedric Avenue and Lenape Trail, a very large walking pathway, which has been a drainage problem for years. And as we go through and do road paving projects, we're going to add these pathways we have in town to do them at the same time. And lastly, ADA ramps, of course, in all locations. We had to put them in, and of course, a new crosswalk across Park and Summit we talked about, which we had to take one away because it was leading to a driveway, which you can't do, so we replaced that there. So pretty significant road program we did. We have 3 state aid jobs still in the queue. Elm Street between Dudley and Broad, which is about to be sent to the state for their review, and Francis and Clover over by in Ward 3 there off of Central Avenue is also being sent to the state. Those are state aid projects. We're getting state aid money to offset the majority of the cost there. So if the state approves it quickly, we'll look to do those this fall. Worst case scenario, they'll be done in the spring, but those are our last 3 projects that we actually looked at for the year. One last thing to mention is Elizabethtown Gas did a lot of paving already. They still have more to do. We've been reminding them of this as recently as this week. So they actually, they will be touching 51 roads this year. They've done about over 30 so far. And we expect to have a lot more paving done this October, November of about 3 other grids. The other section of the Coolidge Avenue area, Benson, Harding, all those areas there. Also a section of Boulevard, there's a grid in the Boulevard over there that have to finish up. And then a small section, Rahway, Trinity, First, and Waterston Street, which they actually were ready to pave. So they should all be done by year's end. We're waiting for them to update on the Kimball Avenue grid, which should be coming very soon. So they're doing great work too. And again, the amount of road paving, close to 15 to 18 miles of road will be planned to be done this year. A couple of last things to mention, in addition to what Craig mentioned today and the police and fire chief mentioned, a lot of recreation projects going on. The Memorial Park playground installation is starting this week. As a matter of fact, started today. So Public Works, I want to thank Public Works. They did all the removal of the old playground last week. So the new installation starts this week, and within a few weeks, we're going to have a brand new ADA compliant playground in that area, which is great, fenced in as well. In addition to that, we have the Tamacos Park tennis court resurfacing, all 8 courts over there, and that should be done within the next probably 8 to 10 days. And so that's really another great project. And they're working on other projects that are in the queue. Right now we have the Houlihan Sid Fay parking lot expansion, bathrooms, which we're working with the contract or the architect now on some plans to present back to the commission. And of course the Tamacos Park design plan work, we're actually getting ready to hire a company to come in to be our partner as we go through the design plan of potentially a multi-phase program at Tamacos Park, including that new 6-7 acres of property that's undeveloped. So last thing to mention is we're working on 2 other things, adding some more bike racks downtown in various locations, in addition to the 2 bike oases we already have, and also looking to get probably the next meeting or the meeting after that, council will be seeing a resolution to award a contract for some new parking management technology, looking to get our permits to go online, renewing online by year's end. So scratching the surface, lots of things going on, but between our three major departments and engineering, planning, zoning, and everything else, it's been a very busy summer and it will continue to be a very busy fall. So thank you for listening to us. It's a lot to listen to, but it's a lot of great stats, and we appreciate, of course, the council's support as always.
Thank you, Jim. Amazing update. Thank you so much. And I didn't want that point to get lost, because we talk about road paving projects, but that road paving is simultaneous stormwater infrastructure improvements. And the road paving is not just road paving. I just want to make sure everybody's realized it's stormwater improvement as well. And this summer, when we've had these big, like, splash storms, I don't know if any noticed, we did not get the flooding that we have had historically, and that is a direct result of the road paving and infrastructure improvements that Jim just referenced. So it's a huge thing that I think we want to make sure that the public is aware of about. It's road paving, but the benefit is stormwater improvement as well. So thank you. Okay, so now yeah, go ahead. Your microphone. Oh, yeah, you go ahead. Sorry, Mike, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so just to kind of wrap things up here with the public safety update. As the chair of the Public Safety Transportation Parking Committee of the Town Council, I'm very grateful to Chief Badaloro, Chief Dulks, and Director Gibson for their ongoing collaboration with our committee, which includes the valuable input of council members Habgood, Saunders, and Damagala. Our committee's work focuses on both responding to the concerns submitted by residents as well as proactive suggestions based based on best practices that can benefit our community. In addition to supporting increased staffing levels in all public safety departments, we also recommend the purchase of additional equipment such as LPRs, new fire truck, and DPW equipment, and additional safety measures that include the addition of 4 all-way stops intersections and the upcoming street sign replacements. Safety will always be the top priority of the Town Council, and as the chair of the committee, I am pleased with our progress while being keenly aware that there is always work left to be done. Thanks to the residents and the business owners who have been instrumental in communicating details about issues that we can address, as we look to continue this collaborative process to deliver on our commitment to safety.
Thank you. Okay, so now, there's the agenda for this evening. Ms. Lashy, are there any advertised hearings?
Yes, Mayor, we have 9 advertised hearings tonight. First is for a special ordinance 2024-04, bond ordinance to authorize the reconditioning of a fire engine and the acquisition of a new fire engine, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the town of Westfield in the county of Union, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,295,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation and provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Anyone wishing to be heard on special ordinance 2024-04, please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is special ordinance 2024-05, a bond ordinance to authorize the replacement of the pool filtration systems at Memorial Pool in and by for the swimming pool utility of the town of Westfield in the county of Union, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $600,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation and provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of bonds. Anyone wishing to be heard on special ordinance 2024-05, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is special ordinance 2024-06, a bond ordinance to authorize the replacement of portions of the HVAC system at the municipal building in, by, and for the town of Westfield in the county of Union, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $350,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Anyone wishing to be heard on special ordinance 2024-06, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is Special Ordinance 2024-07, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of 200 South Avenue West, Block 3101, Lot 8, in the town of Westfield, County of Union, State of New Jersey. Anyone wishing to be heard on Special Ordinance 2024-07, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is Special Ordinance 2024-08, an ordinance of the town of Westfield, County of Union, State of New Jersey, granting a temporary access easement and encroachment easement. Anyone wishing to be heard on Special Ordinance 2024-08, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is General Ordinance 2024-18, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 36, entitled Filming. Anyone wishing to be heard on General Ordinance 2024-18, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is General Ordinance 2024-19, an ordinance regulating the distribution of unsolicited printed material. Anyone wishing to be heard on General Ordinance 2024-19, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is General Ordinance 2024-20, an ordinance to amend the town's regulation of the sale of merchandise, food, etc. from food trucks. Anyone wishing to be heard on General Ordinance 2024-20, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Last is General Ordinance 2024-21, an ordinance to amend the land use ordinance of the town of Westfield in regard to the definition of floor area habitable. Anyone wishing to be heard on General Ordinance 2024-21, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed. Councilman Domagala, please move for the adoption of Finance Policy Committee ordinances.
I would like to move for the adoption of Special Ordinance Number 2024-04, bond ordinance to authorize the reconditioning of the fire engine and acquisition of a new fire engine, including original apparatus and equipment by and for the town of Westfield in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,295,000 to pay to the cost thereof, to make the down payment to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Mackey. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia?
Yes.
Domagala?
Yes.
Kiefer?
Yes.
Armento?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
Mayor Brindle?
Yes, this motion is carried.
Mayor, I'd like also to move for the adoption of Special Ordinance Number 2024-05, bond ordinance to authorize the replacement of the pool filtration system at Memorial Pool in, by, and for swimming pool utility of the town of Westfield in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $600,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia?
Yes.
Domagala?
Yes.
Kiefer?
Yes.
Armento?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
Mayor Brindle?
Yes, this motion is carried.
Lastly, I'd like to move for the adoption of Special Ordinance Number 2024-06, bond ordinance to authorize the replacement of portions of the HVAC system at the municipal building in, by, and for the town of Westfield in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $350,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of such bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia?
Yes.
Domagala?
Yes.
Kiefer?
Yes.
Armento?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
Mayor Brindle?
Yes, this motion is carried. Councilman Mackey, please move for the adoption of Code Review and Town Property Committee ordinances.
I would like to move for the adoption of Special Ordinance Number 2024-07, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of 200 South Avenue West, Block 3101, Lot 8, in the town of Westfield, County of Union, and State of New Jersey.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia?
Yes.
Domagala?
Yes.
Kiefer?
Yes.
Armento?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
Mayor Brindle?
Yes, this motion is carried.
I would like to move for the adoption of Special Ordinance Number 2024-08, an ordinance of the town of Westfield, County of Union, State of New Jersey, granting a temporary access easement and encroachment easement.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Damagala. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia,
Yes.
Damagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried.
I would like to move for the adoption of General Ordinance Number 2024-18, an ordinance of the Town of Westfield, County of Union, State of New Jersey, granting a temporary access easement and encroachment easement.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Council,
Oh, it sure was, wasn't it? It was on there twice. None of us even noticed.
I would like to move for the adoption of General Ordinance Number 2024-19, an ordinance regulating the distribution of unsolicited printed material.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia,
Yes.
Damagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried.
I would like to move for the adoption of General Ordinance Number 2024-20, an ordinance to amend the town's regulation of the sale of merchandise, food, etc., from food trucks.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia,
Yes.
Damagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes.
Last, I would like to move for the adoption of,
Go ahead, it's carried. She figured it out.
Last, I would like to move for the adoption of General Ordinance Number 2024-21, an ordinance to amend the land use ordinance of the Town of Westfield in regard to the definition of floor area habitable.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia,
Yes.
Damagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried. May I have a motion? Do you have something to say?
You can approve this. Motion to
Oh,
approve. Motion is carried. So
Yeah,
the
motion is
one-
carried.
Yeah, the one that she did, that was a
Right.
duplicate. The ordinance number was right, 2018-24. The wording, it should have been the filming ordinance.
Okay,
It just
so,
was worded as a temporary access agreement twice. So it should be motion to make a motion on 2024-18, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 36, entitled Filming. That was the one that's on the agenda, and it's repeated as a temporary access, but the second one should be the filming one on second reading.
so,
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, so it's the, it's dash 18 is the right number?
Yes.
Oh, okay, in order to have, kind of regarding the
2024
filming.
dash 18.
Dash 18.
The title
and
is just listed
Granting, granting, okay, State of the Union to approve filming,
Yes, Chapter 36, entitled Filming.
Chapter 36, filming. Okay, let me do that one over again?
Yes.
Okay,
Don't, yeah,
Dawn, you
Okay.
got that?
not really.
the mayor can do it. The mayor can do it.
I would like to move for the adoption, okay, yeah, okay. I'd like to move for the adoption of General Ordinance Number 2024-18, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 36, entitled Filming.
Correct.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Armento, seconded. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia,
Yes.
Damagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Armento, Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried. Okay, we got it. Thank you, Jim. Now it's, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from the Town Council's conference and regular meetings of August 13, 2024? Moved by Councilman Mackey, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Damagala. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? This motion is carried. Now it's time for open discussion by citizens. Anyone may come up to the microphone and speak to us on any subject on which we have jurisdiction. Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Hearing none, I close this portion of the meeting, moves to bills and claims. Councilman Damagala.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move, excuse me, bills and claims in the amount of $2,888,327.74.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Mackey. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Next, reports to standing committees, beginning with Finance. Councilman Damagala.
I have 8 resolutions I'd like to move as a package. Number 1, resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for dog licenses, August 2024. Resolution authorizing the CFO to draw warrant for Recreation Department refunds. Number 3, resolution authorizing CFO to draw warrant for unused parking permit fees. Number 4, resolution authorizing the CFO to draw warrants for overpaid taxes due to disabled veteran exemptions. Number 5, resolution authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to draw warrants for overpaid taxes in 2024. Number 6, resolution to adopt Town of Westfield's restated deferred compensation plan. Number 7, resolution authorizing submission of an application for Kids Recreation Trust Fund grant program. And number 8, resolution authorizing submission of an application for Greening Union County grant program.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion has carried. Next, Public Safety Transportation Parking Committee, Councilman Dardia.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to move General Ordinance Number 2024-2022 on first reading, an ordinance to amend the code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 13.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Mackey. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion has carried. Next, Code Review and Town Property Committee, Councilman Mackey.
I have 2 resolutions I would like to move as a package. 1, resolution to approve children's amusement device licenses. 2, resolution amending North Side Train Station lease.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried.
I would like to move General Ordinance Number 2024-23 on first reading, an ordinance authorizing the consumption of alcoholic beverages in certain areas of the Town of Westfield.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Domagala. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion has carried. Next is Public Works Committee, Councilman Mackey.
I have 2 resolutions I would like to move as a package. 1, resolution authorizing an award of contract for curbside collection of recyclable material. 2, resolution authorizing an award of contract for the disposal of recyclable material.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. And may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved Councilman Mackey, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. This meeting is adjourned. Good night, everybody. Hope to see you tomorrow at 6:30.